This is the story of the MS Olivia grounding, the oil spill in one of the world's most remote areas. This is literally the middle of the ocean. The scene at Nightingale is dreadful, authorities were quoted as saying, as the Maltese registered bulk carrier Olivia ran aground in the South Atlantic Ocean, causing an unprecedented oil spill in one of the most pristine regions in the world. The incident is a noteworthy example of navigational error resulting from inadequate compliance with the SMS. The basic details are type of accident, a grounding, vessels involved, MS Olivia, a bulk carrier. The date, the 16th of March 2011. Place, South Atlantic Ocean. Fatalities, none. Pollution, 1,500 tons of fuel oil and 60,000 tons of soybeans, all in the water. On the 16th of March 2011, the MS Olivia was en route from Brazil to China. Just after 4 a.m., the second mate noticed a large defined echo on the radar passing clear down the vessel's port bow. He assumed that it was either rain clouds or an iceberg. The second mate handed over watch at 4:20 and left the bridge at about 4:25. He did not tell the chief mate of the radar echoes he had noticed earlier, as they had passed clear of the vessel, and he did not tell him that the vessel would be passing close to land during his watch. The chief mate then recollected observing some fuzzy echoes which he thought were scattered rain showers. The starboard bridge door was open, and the bridge window wipers were switched on because of rain. There was no indication that either the second mate or later the chief mate switched on the X-band radar when they were approaching land or when they were expected to make landfall. At about 4:30, the AB reported sightings of a white light forward of the vessel's port beam, which he assumed was a fishing vessel. The chief mate responded that he could see it, but he did not get up from his chair to investigate. At 5 o'clock, the AB entered the chart room and plotted the vessel's position. He noted that the vessel was on track. Just after 5, the chief mate went to the chart room and noted that the AB had plotted the position on the chart. He returned and sat down in the pilot's chair and noticed a large echo on the radar screen, very close ahead. He assumed it was a heavy storm cloud, and thereafter he felt the vessel's impact of running aground. The chief mate moved into steering position and noticed that the vessel was turning to port. He switched over to manual steering and attempted to use the wheel. The ship started to develop a port list, and the chief mate and AB could hear the sound of the escaping air, presumably coming from the ballast tank vents. The vibration of the ship running aground and the change in the main engine noise woke up most of the 22 crew members. At about 5:10 a.m., the vessel ran aground close to a rocky shore beneath low cliffs. Initially, 12 crew members were transferred across to a fishing vessel that was standing by to render assistance. On the 17th of March, the weather had deteriorated and the remaining 10 crew abandoned the vessel. On March 18th, the vessel broke into two sections and the forward section drifted away and the aft section capsized and sank. The environmental consequences of this. The diesel and fuel oil that escaped from the vessel's tanks brought a significant environmental impact around the island of Nightingale, which is an active volcanic island in the South Atlantic Ocean and is home to several endangered species. A total of 1,500 tons of fuel oil and 60,000 tons of soybeans were released into the water. The oil spill coated an estimated 20,000 penguins of the endangered northern rockhopper population, half of which is found on the remote South Atlantic island. Probable causes. The official investigation found that the vessel ran aground because the planned course it was following on the plotting sheet was found to have taken the vessel directly over Nightingale's Island. Other safety issues. Although the bridge team was aware that the vessel might be passing close to some islands, it was not aware as to when that event would take place. Although the vessel did not have AB chart 1769, other appropriate available charts covering the area had not been used. Both the second mate and the chief mate were not aware that the vessel was heading towards Nightingale Island. This was because there was no indication on the plotting chart to alert them of the dangers ahead. Both the second mate and chief mate saw some echoes on the radar screen, but did not investigate and dismissed them as rain clouds. Neither officer had consulted BA chart 4022. Although this chart was of an unsatisfactory scale, it could have prompted them to adopt a precautionary approach when radar echoes were spotted on the radar. The handing over checklist required the chief mate to establish the proximity of any hazards to the vessel. This appears not to have happened, as he relied on the brief handover he received from the second mate. The chief officer did not check the position which the AB plotted on the chart. Lessons learned. The incident highlighted issues related to the importance of safe passage plan and the consequences of not following the SMS procedures. After the incident, the owner reviewed instructions on the use of plotting sheets during ocean navigation and required all officers on board to complete computer-based training in voyage planning and bridge team management. Meanwhile, Transport Malta advised the owners to consider holding unscheduled navigational audits at sea so as to verify compliance of its operational procedures while the vessel is underway and amend emergency checklists in order to include the need to save the VDR data. This is unreal. They didn't know the island was there or didn't know they were close to it. Unbelievable. Nobody had any idea there was land ahead until they hit it. Kind of hard to believe that something like this can happen. The technology in 2011 is not that much different than what it is today. They had to know that island was there. It's not funny, but that island's been there forever. The fact that they caused a huge amount of pollution in a very sensitive area is very unfortunate. Luckily, there were good Samaritan vessels in the area that managed to rescue everyone. Could have been a lot worse. This is literally the middle of the ocean. The chances of somebody being around there probably pretty slim, that's for sure. Interesting story. It just goes to show you never know. Bad things can happen at a moment's notice. Luckily, no loss of life, except for the penguins.